Well, good evening. It is Monday. It is the 27th of July. I appreciate the stream title says August, but that's because I want to do things a little bit early. Oh, wrong button. Oh my god, my camera broke. Why is my camera broken? Why is my camera broken? Camera, why you break? Wake up. What happened? It's the right camera. It was working 2 minutes ago as well, and I haven't changed anything. Damn it. Let's go on to here. Oh, look. Yeah, it's properly broken. Lovely. My wife. Oh, no, I have turned it off and turned it back on again. But, yeah. I'm going to have to disconnect it and reconnect it. Give me a second, guys. Where is it? Where's it plugged into? Question. I don't actually know where it's plugged into anymore. Damn it. In typical fashion, tech issues happen immediately. Ah, damn it. Let me put the right scene back on and I will endeavour to explain what's happening. So, while I find the camera button, we are, for at least the next 4 weeks, but I am off for at least one of those weeks, we will be doing... Do you know what? I'll find it later. I literally cannot find it right now. And I'm not climbing under my desk to fix that tonight. Yeah. So, you'll get the card and my lovely little channel avatar instead. I will fix that for tomorrow. So, yeah. Let's just briefly go over what the plan is. I don't know why the death count is on. That can be turned off because you can't die in this game. So, let's just let this save and then one less thing to worry about. Yes, the plan, quite simply. I have 0 money in my account. I am starting from absolutely 0. I own no lands, no vehicles, nothing. My plan is to basically start as a farm contractor and see how much money I can make, whether I can buy land, own fields, and see how far we can get before the 31st of August. This will at least take place 2 streams a week. So that's Monday and Wednesday. For at least the next 3 weeks. Then I've got a week off. And then we've got 2 weeks at the end of the month. Or a week at the end. Yeah, 2 weeks at the end of the month. Or a week at the end of the month, and then sort of Monday, which is the 31st, to try and finish it off. And we just want to see how much we can get and what we can own. I need to unpause the game because I deliberately paused it to prevent time from progressing. We want it on... we don't want it on real time because then that just becomes a cheat code. So, we do want contracts. At the moment, there's 2. So we are going to have to start with the most annoying kind of contract going, which is the wood transport. But that's because we need money. So we are borrowing equipment from other people to do this challenge at the moment. But the plan is to eventually have our own machines that we can do these jobs with and then eventually buy our own. So, where is my... So that's where it's got to be delivered to. Where's the wood I've got to collect? It's up here in the forest. So, now this is a brand new map to me. This is Ratzinger. But yes, put simply, we are trying to make as much money as possible in a month with nothing to start us on. Yeah. We don't want to be in the... And the first thing you get to see me try and do is pick up log. Oh, it's that one, that's why. Ah! Excuse me, Gimp. Can I go up the road, please? So, yeah. I may... Oh, well, I was going to say I may cancel this contract. I physically cannot. I have 0 money. That will put me in the negative. And I have taken the contract now, which means... Pain in the... And I've gone the wrong way. Immediately gone the wrong way. But the stuff we've got to collect is somewhere in this forest. To our right. So, admittedly, I've probably gone a really bad way. I'm going to put it into first person view just so I can see where I'm driving through here. So somewhere... There it is. Look, there's our... Okay, that's a lot of logs. Oop. I hit a tree. That's fine. So, no, that's the... these logs here. These ones here. These are the ones I need to get. So let's get rid of the map for a moment. In fact, we'll put it back in the corner. And let's unfold the truck. Which should... Put my character into the crane. And then once that's finished unloading, we can start loading these logs. Now, there is a good chance that this goes horribly wrong. No. So where... That's... There we go. Now we're starting to get there. But, no, that's it. There we go. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to try... Actually, let's go up a little bit. Let's go left a little bit. Let's come down there. Wow, I'm actually... Whoop! Ah! Game, what are you... Okay, that was... Oh, I see what I did. Whoops. I see what I did there. So, if you want to know what happened there, I accidentally pressed the fold truck command rather than grabbing the logs, which is there. So, we'll try and load these logs again, but better this time. Okay. That's the first two loaded. So if I really need to, I can still move my truck up and down. I wish I hadn't taken this now and I'd waited like 5 more minutes. Because I bet now if I go back into the contracts list, there's other contracts. Oh, no, there is not. There is literally... Oh, active. Yeah, look, there we go. Harvesting. And... Oh, yeah. You know what? Sod it. Given that I'm only going to lose about... I'm going to lose £400. Do you know what? Sod it. Yes. And actually, what I could have done was I could have waited until after I had done something else to do that. There we go. So this one, it's a bit loud compared to my voice. It shouldn't be. But I can adjust that. Thank you, Chrono. It greatly annoys me that Spotify is very poor at audio balancing. So what field are we going to? Number 2. So I want to try and avoid the wood transport contracts because I suck at wood transporting. Okay, we are basically back to where we were. Because we were in here, and field 2 is right next door. Let's get in first person. We'll do as much as we can in first person. Because it's slightly more interesting than... And it makes the game a little bit more challenging. So, it's funny that, you know, my camera decides to not work when I do something funny, like put a tiny cuddly tractor on my shoulder. I don't know why my camera stopped working. Like I say, I tested it just before I went live. And it was working fine. Awkward thing. Excuse me. It knows. I wonder. Is it? Yeah, it is this microphone that's picking me up. Sorry for blowing you out. Blowing your ears out like that. Just making sure it's set to the right input. Because the last thing I want it to do is it have defaulted to the... I should probably check that, actually. Properties... No, it is the microphone that's in front of my face. Crawl up the hill. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the manual. I need to... Oh, I apologise to the people behind me in traffic because this tractor takes a while to get going. Especially uphill. Itchy nose. Why is my nose so itchy today? So yeah, for those that are bothered by it, song requests are on. If you want to chuck something in the queue, please be my guest. The command is !SR. It requires an artist and a song title, or for effectively what is the Spotify lucky dip of did you get the artist and song name right? Or you can put in a Spotify link. But like I said, this game has literally got, well, it has got music because it has got a radio, but we're not turning that on. Because that would be a bad idea. Well, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but I prefer listening to everybody else. What everybody else thinks is good music. That's the point. We need to turn on automatic drop. I don't think I just did. Nope. I pressed the wrong button. It's up. There we go. All that instruction means is that when the baler has... the wrapper, in this case, has finished wrapping a bale, it will drop it on the ground immediately. So, how many bales does this field have? A lot. Okay, let's go. So, we pick a bale up, it starts wrapping. You know, I'm wrapping a bale, I'm wrapping, yeah, whatever. I can't wrap for the life of me. It was worth a try, right? But yes, the joke was going to be that I have a tiny cuddly tractor sat on my shoulder. It is bright green, much like a John Deere. I had named it Jonathan Expensive. Jonathan Expensive Tractor. And the plan was to have this series only use John Deere tractors when I start buying them. Unfortunately, the comedy is lost because the camera isn't working and I can't get behind the computer to disconnect it and plug it back in. But yeah, like I said, it'll be fixed for tomorrow when I am collaborating with AMT. Because while I have decided to do Arable August, the farming doesn't stop just because I'm not actually driving a tractor. I will be picking up for the month of August Pal World. Along with AMT, we will be doing co-op streams of that on a Tuesday. Because, you know, it's just another form of farming. Mostly resources to build bases. But I have already discovered quite a overpowered combo in that game. There is a specific creature in that game that, while it is in your party, summons itself to fight by your side regardless of if it is your active monster. Al, as they are actually called. Which basically means that you then can have an army of them. Which is hilarious to me. So you have 4 of these things floating around, you know, doing their attacks when they feel like, and then you have your other active monster with you, and you end up with 6 extra stacks of DPS. Oh my word. So yeah, while the bale wrapping goes on, how is everybody? I know that Sophie's lurking, so I'm not gonna ask her directly, but I know she's alright. Corona, how's your day gone, buddy? My day has been honestly not very productive, waiting on people to sign things off that I've worked on. I mean, yeah, I've not had a bad day, but it's just not been as productive as I would have liked it to be. That was an interesting... I wonder if my... Ooh. And for those people that are lurking, thank you very much for choosing to spend your evening watching a silly man drive around in a I use the term semi-realistic depiction of what it's like to drive a tractor for hours on end. Thank you for choosing to be here. I am normally, well, I say normally, I am somewhat of a speedrunner. Like, my regular content would be speedruns of some kind. Usually brawler games, or specifically sometimes Power Rangers. But yeah, I'm going to start... So August is going to be this challenge. And then the Power World. And Roadcraft continues as normal on Thursdays. That's with AMT as well. And the rest of the road haulers. The hauling crew, whatever we call ourselves now. I can't remember. Yeah, no worries, darling. Love you. I need to try and not drive too far down the field so I don't have to drive back up it later. Because this tractor will struggle. But yes. Covered the plan. Covered all that stuff. Yeah, speedruns will be back in September. Because we will know by that point if we have a run accepted for UKSG and whether I need to practice that. And potentially looking at some new ones, because I'm hoping, beyond all hope, that finally limited run games release the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe game that they've been holding on to for about the last 4 months. Because it was supposed to be released in April. May, June, July. So yeah, it'll be all... yeah. Currently 3 months. So yeah, I'm hoping they release that soon. Because that will be a speedrun that I want to dive into headlong. Because that is well within my 2D brawler remit along the lines of Power Rangers the movie, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Rita's Rewind. But equally, I do want to pick up the speedrun of Ninpu Sentai Hurikenja, which is the follow-on Season 2 Gao Ranger, which is the one we've been working on with AMT recently. And there are also other Power Rangers games and other non-Power Rangers games I want to get my teeth into. There is a plan to play through the 3 PlayStation 3 Kamen Rider games on stream at some point, because I've managed to get those playable to an extent. For those that don't know, the PlayStation 3 has HD content protection on it, which means it's difficult to emulate. It's difficult to directly capture the console. Thankfully, the Steam Deck is just about powerful enough to run those games and capture them, so we'll be able to do it that way. So that we'll be able to play through those 3 games, and there's a potential of learning the speedrun of. There we go. Now we've got our actual contracts coming up. Look, we've got a harvesting contract. We've got a spraying contract. We've got a... So the supply and transport, we would have to supply... We have to collect the items required. We've got... So for 2 days. At the moment, I've got one day set to 1 month. We can adjust that as we go on. Wood transport I'm avoiding like the plague because, you know, pain. Because they are difficult. So, supply bucket. Oh yeah, that's production required. So yeah, let's grab. So there is one more rule that I forgot to mention at the start, and that is I am not allowed to hire workers until I have my own equipment. So until I've got my own equipment, I am stuck with doing everything manually. And the reason for that is just that if you were doing this as a contractor, you wouldn't necessarily be hiring workers. There could be an argument made that, you know, if we are doing a Field 63, where are we going this time? That's the wrong button. That's the shop. Although we could start looking at tractors, actually. Let's go to the map. Field 63 is roughly in the... Shout if you can see 63. It's over here. So we need to come out of the shop and turn left. Okay, got it. But yes, this tractor would be one used in a vineyard or a olive garden because it fits between the rows nicely, and we may actually build up some. Again, depending on how well it goes, we'll see. But I'm looking at. So my options at the moment are quite slim because the field prices are quite expensive. But my initial thought is I want to get into silage production. Because grass you can harvest 3 or 4 times a year depending on when you plant it and how it grows. So we're going to try for that. Normally I would turn traffic off, but for the time being I'm going to leave it on. Now, that beacon is meant to be flashing, but I don't think you can see it because the graphic settings are set such that, yeah. Running on a Steam Deck, because I'm pretty sure my computer cannot handle this. It can't, I mean, 26 miles an hour, it's not that fast, but yes. How are you doing today, Orchid? Congratulations on getting the run recorded I know you said you weren't sure if you were going to use that as a submission, but at least it's there as a baseline. But no, it was great seeing how much practice and effort you put into getting that run into the state that it's in. I mean, I'm not surprised, given that you were streaming for, what, 5 hours? When you'd actually finished? You know what, we're just going to go around this way. I probably should have taken the gap between the things. 5 to 6 out of... Yeah, exactly. No, we're not allowed to use... We're not allowed to use the helpers, but I can absolutely use the steering assist. Exactly. And that's what you want when it comes to... So, steering assist is quite simple in its operation. I press the button, it activates the guide and steering, and I just press the accelerator, and off it goes. And we are fertilizing this field. Now, I'm kind of hoping that this field does not require the entire contents of this hopper. And we should, well, we probably won't get any extra money because it's not it's not my fertilizer. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's always great when you see people from the game community that you're running come in. But yeah, I've not had that happen yet on any of my streams. I know that some people on the community, from the communities I've run games of, have watched my VODs. That's awesome. The fact that he's a day one runner is dropping in and giving you hints and tips and guidance. That's awesome. And the other thing is the fact that you've had one of the, admittedly an unused trick, but a trick named after you in a speed run. Oh, your day one. Okay. Yeah, of course. That makes more sense. But no, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, the orchid jump. It's unfortunate that the games I play don't really have major, to be fair, skips or major glitches on them. Because that would be my dream, to have a trick named after me. It would certainly be a dream. So we want that line. We'll turn that on. I'm hoping that I don't have to do that last little bit, but I probably will. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like I say, a lot of the games I run don't necessarily have major glitches to them. In fact, none of the games I run yet have major glitches, because I did run previously Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rewind. I am currently in the process of burning down my time on Gow Ranger, which literally has no glitches whatsoever. Manipulations, yes, but not like full-blown glitches. There is... Ooh, we've got a lot of harvesting contracts. This is going to start... See, harvesting contracts... Trying not to snicker. Promise. Owing. Anyway, let's just drop down here. We want snow on. We want crop destruction on, because that means it forces me to avoid driving on fields. Periodic ploughing is off because it's annoying. We're going to turn off fieldstone for now. In fact, do you know what? We're just going to turn everything off for now. Disaster destruction, I don't want because that is a pain to deal with, because it means you have to effectively completely recycle the field. As in plough it, cultivate it, drill it, because the damage is permanent. Right, let's do something a little bit different now. Let's go and do a harvesting contract. Let's take... They're all different things, aren't they? Barley, kale, oat, and... Oh yeah, there's only 3. Cool. Let's borrow then this one. Now, the only problem is I've got to load the... Because of the state of some of the roads, I've got to load this header onto the trail. Come on. Please tell me there's enough room for me to reverse in here. Uh-oh. This may not go so well. I may have to... Uh-oh. It's hooked on the stairs. That's not good. That'll do. That works. But yeah, I was going through my list of speedruns. So currently, Power Rangers Rewind, which I've run at UKSG in October last year. Thanks for just popping through my no. Marvel Cosmic Invasion, that I am currently 2nd place on the single player leaderboards and 3rd place in the 2-player leaderboards with Argic. What else do I have on my list of achievements? I have a top 5 position as all the Rangers in Rita's Rewind, plus a position on 2-player and 3-player boards with groups of people. I am the current world record holder of Starlink Battle for Atlas Star Fox %, which is insane to me because I got that world record almost by accident. So I was like, yeah, I'm a few minutes off the world record. Do you know what? I'll do an extra random, couple of hours stream. I'll do a couple of hours practice. I'll knock another few minutes off it. And within, 15 within, the first run of that stream, literally got the world record. I have yet to... Yeah. It was so weird. This song... This is Ruby Illusions, but it's a rock remix by The Longest Solo Ever. I need to find field 28. I am going the right way. Yes, this is a remix of the Sonic Mania track, Ruby Illusions, which is the super boss fight from Sonic Mania. But yeah, if you want to put in a song request, I've got them turned on. Please feel free to make your request using !SR and the song's title and artist, or using the open Spotify track links, because I am using Songify for this privilege. You don't have to put song requests in. I just appreciate listening to what other people think is, good music. Turn it on. Actually, let's okay, that is turned off. So yeah, the weirdest thing about this game is the fact that if you look in the menu, like there, it says enable straw swap. I don't know if you can read that not on stream, but it says enable straw swath there. That option will actively turn it on, not that it is enabled now. But at least in my head, that logic is somewhat backwards. So again, using the guidance steering to make sure that I actually get everything. So this contract isn't just the fact that I've got to get the stuff out of the field, I've got to deliver it to the right place as well. Also, every harvesting contract has a little... I say every. Depending on the map makers, there is usually an amount extra out of the field that effectively then you can either take away and use yourself, or you can... Where have you... There. Or you can just sell it immediately for profit. We are going to be doing the former and immediately selling it because we have no reason to keep it. Mostly because we don't actually have anywhere to keep it, and we have no reason to keep it. But yeah, the plan is to see, again, how much money we can make in 1 month of real time. I've missed the edge of the field, so I'm going to have to come back and do that again, because that's going to annoy me. So I am a bit of a perfectionist in this game in that I do not like to leave anything uncollected. So that bit at the end there will be collected eventually. But yeah, like I say, no hired helpers yet. That'd annoy me too. Yeah, it does. And then, like, I do watch a number of YouTubers that play this game and record, like, regular series. And it really upsets me that they just leave stuff in the field. Or they'll be cultivating or sowing and they'll just leave bits of field untouched. Exactly. I mean, it's not... Yeah. They are. I mean, a lot of them aren't necessarily taking it, like, you know, 100% perfect. They're doing it in a way that, you know, a real farmer would do. Like, if you have a really awkward corner that's difficult to get your machinery into, you'd just ignore it. But it's like, you're playing a game. But then again, I suppose not everything is about maximizing, you know, getting, you know, 100 and... I think the maximum bonus out of a field every time. It's about, you know, doing it and enjoying it. Which is partly why I've decided to take on this challenge, because one, I love this game and I've never done this kind of thing before. But yeah, I decided that August was going to be a little bit lower and slower, a little bit less high octane, for want of a better phrase. Oh, someone got an extra life. Exactly, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this in August, because, you know, submission season is mostly over. Put the thing down. At least it is for me this year. I've submitted to the last 2 events I want to do this year. And then September becomes practice time, potentially October as well, depending on, because Fastathon is happening at the end of October, but that is an online event. So that one I don't need to worry so much about travelling and stuff. Yeah. So that's the same with me. So the runs I've submitted to UKSG, that's all of the runs I've got at the moment. So yeah, like I say, September likely will be learning a new run if I don't get anything into UKSG. If I do get something into UKSG, depending on what it is, it'll be streams practicing, making sure I can get a good run out of it. But yeah, if it's, yeah, we'll see. But the plan for September, October is that hopefully, like I say, hopefully by then He-Man has dropped, and then that will become the game that I start speedrunning for next year's event, at least the early events next year. And by early events, it'll probably just be UKSG again. It depends on a number of things. Like, A, the game has to release first. That's speedrunning a game that hasn't released. Unless, of course, there is a demo % speedrun. Which actually, a lot more boards have started doing that now, I've noticed. Like, they will have a speedrun for the demo version. Which to me is kind of cool. Because it gets you invested in speedrunning the game before, you know, early. Like they had that for Marvel. That was one of the it still actually is a leaderboard for Marvel Cosmic Invasion is demo. The demo version, the demo % version. Which to me is kinda cool. Like a zero cost, that to me is a zero cost or zero investment speedrun. Like all you need is the demo version of the game, something to record your runs in, which, hey look, Steam has that built in. Like you can record your gameplay directly in the Steam overlay. You know, it's great. Admittedly, you'd have to have a way of timing it, but again, Live Split is free. You don't have to, and I think that's the biggest thing about speedrunning. You don't have to submit your you don't have to submit a run with a timer on it. It's one of the few things that people forget about speedrunning. They think that your timer has to be on, unless the rules of the speedrun specifically state you have to show a timer. You don't necessarily need one. Bit of K-pop Demon Hunters. Wow, that is an unfortunate reflection. I'm getting backlit by a reflection off a house on the next street. That is... go for it. This is exactly the right game for a super chill vibe. So, in terms of song requests, okay, fine. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep. So we've got Orchid with her super chill. We've got my wife, who is currently busy doing other things, but she normally picks the cheesiest pop songs you can think of. And then we've got Chrono, our Eurovision maestro, and yes, I am calling him that. Because he always seems to pick the Eurovision songs that are... And do you know what? Eurovision is a great thing to hear. The man has watched, catalogued, and... like, literally everything... yeah, watched, catalogued, and organised everything to do with Eurovision for the last, what? At least 20 years, I'm going to say. Probably more. Oh dear. Sorry, have been watching since my early teens. Okay. 20 years isn't that far off then. Okay, 20 years is probably a little conservative. But not a bad guess. Weird. I keep looking at OBS expecting to see my face floating around. Yeah, fair. That makes sense. $19.92. Okay. I don't even remember 1992. I'm sorry. So the plan for today is that the plan for ads during this stream is that it's 12 years old. Yeah, okay. I'm just, yeah, I was embarrassingly young at that point. Ooh, actually, it's a continuation of this line over here. But yes, I was very young. Okay, thanks Spotify. Just randomly stop playing. Okay, Spotify does not want to play Koopa Kingdom in Blue. Literally does not want to play it. I will re-add those two because somehow I've managed to lose those songs from the list. Yeah, okay, it just does not want to play that song. It's refusing. Yeah, it is literally not playing. At all. So, I genuinely, I am sorry. I don't know what's wrong with it. It just does not want to play that song. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure I told you to add that song to the list. Yeah. Bot, why aren't you... It says that a song's been added, but it hasn't. Either that or the queue. Sometimes I give up. I really do. But yeah, as far as ad breaks go, because the ads is going to start in a minute, I will take a break when I need them, because there ain't much happening right now anyway. We are literally going backwards and forwards across a barley field in a combine harvester. Like, if I really wanted to, I could put the cruise control on. I mean, there are options. I don't know what is wrong with it, because it doesn't want to... That one. What? Come on. Spotify API is connected. Which chatbot's connected? Which API is connected? Oop, sugar. Nearly ended up in the wall. Sorry for the ads, guys. I know. Try it again. Eh. I think this is one that you introduced me to. Like I say, I'm not against... I'm not against any kind of music. Okay, the queue just died. What did you just do to my Spotify? Oh, it is in the request list. Okay. It's there. Okay, it liked your request. Oh yeah, at any given point, I reserve the right to add a song request to the end of the band list. Welcome back from the ad break. You've missed me going up and down a field about 3 times. Oh look, it's added that to the request list. And that one. Ooh, we might actually get some work done. Although the queue request has actually broken apparently. But the requests, it's recognised the requests. I suppose the real question is it actually going to play? Round we go. Let's see what happens, because this song has seconds left on it. Oh, we're nearly full. We've done most of the field in one tank. Nope, it has stopped and does not want to carry on. Wow, okay. So, let me restart Songify. So it's not going to work for a minute. Let me restart it. Alright, that's opening. I can hit play on my playlist. So it's correctly recognized what the last song was. Apparently my Spotify no longer wants to play music. Hello? Okay. Turns out the problem wasn't Songify after all. Maybe. Potentially. Anyway, let's get back to... Something went wrong. Yes, indeed it did. You are correct. Something did go very wrong. Why aren't you letting me play my music? This playlist should be downloaded. You gonna let me play this one? Spotify, why am I not allowed to play? Okay, apparently I'm not allowed Spotify. Apparently I'm not allowed anymore. Literally my play button has disappeared. So yeah, we're gonna stop there. We're gonna grab this guy. So yeah, apologies for the lack of music now, but it turns out Spotify doesn't like me today. Because, and I wish I was joking, it literally is not letting me play anything. Can I convince it to let me do it via mobile? Or has my account actually just been locked? Oh, well, in that case, it's likely that... There we go. There we go. That works. I just do it that way. Apparently the solution to the problem was telling it to play on my phone and then telling my phone that I want to listen on my computer. So yeah, apologies, your requests have died. Please re-add them if you wish to. Let's put it this way, let's just hope it's not a repeat of the Cloudflare outage that happened last week. Nope. Nope. It's not having it. That request went in and it killed the queue. Yeah, the queue is empty, like nothing is working properly. Yeah, the whole thing is... Although that says it's playing. Yeah, I think so. I've gone the wrong way. Because that says it's playing, but it's playing on my phone. Which is not great. Oh, it is playing on my phone. But that's the requested song. So apparently we are allowed to have it working on mobile. We're just not allowed to have it working on desktop PC right now. You know what? Today's just been one of those days with tech issues. Oops. I wish there was a way of disabling the manual intervention on the gearboxes in this game permanently, because it's a mild wind-up when you want to zoom the camera out, but it's the same control as changing gearbox while you're holding the changing gear when you're holding the accelerator. If the API is having trouble, then that'll be why everything's going breasts skywards is the only way I can describe it without... Wait a second, this is the good Farming Simulator or the god-awful broken-ass silly thing. This is Farming Simulator 25. This is the latest iteration of Giant Software's Farming Simulator series, so probably the former, but occasionally can be the latter. But yeah, welcome on in, Seb. How are you doing? We are meant to have song requests on, and Songify has decided, or at least Spotify has decided, I'm going to be broken today, along with my camera. Oh, okay, this is only half full. We are going to finish this field off. But no, this is the official Farming Simulator 25 from... developed and published by Giant Software. I am doing a start from scratch challenge. I started today at 7 o'clock, just over an hour ago, with 0 money. I am on my second contract of today's session at 13 grand. Okay, my phone is still playing music. I apologize. I'm going to pause that and hope that I can connect to my computer again. Are you running low settings? No, I am running this on low settings because I am playing on a Steam Deck, because my PC does not have the capacity to run this and a stream at the same time. So yes, this is on low settings. So apologies for the... Not famous for being super optimal. It isn't, no. No worries. No worries, Orchid. Take your time if you need to do anything important. But yeah, no, I'm running this on a Steam Deck because my PC can't play games and run stream at the same time. But it does the job, it works, and it's not actually struggling. I could increase the graphical fidelity of the game, but you know, I don't want to send the Steam Deck into an early graveyard considering I've only had it for 2 years. Sorry, 18 months. The game doesn't need a lot of graphical fidelity. It only affects things in the distance, really, and you know, you get a good feel of what's going on. So, just to catch you up, Seb, yes, this is a start from scratch challenge where I had £0 in my bank account to start with. We are on Ratzinger H-O umlaut H-E. And I am hoping at some point that I will be able to purchase machinery and land and fields and be able to actually start. Where am I going? Down there. So, how do I get there? Because I am here. So we're going back up to the road. And yeah, I don't know if I can get through there. Because it looks like we're going to have to go around through the village. Okay, let's figure this out. Let's go. Pretty much, yeah. Because normally in ETS2 you get given some land and some vehicles to start a game with, and I just decided, you know what, I'm fed up of doing it that way. Let's do it like a truck sim game. Yeah, I keep doing that on my ETS save, but that might be because at the moment my ETS save is mostly used for racing. So last week on Thursday I recorded a ETS2 race between myself and AMT. We were racing from Oslo to Glasgow via Amsterdam, because that covers the 3 speedrunner gathering events of Europe. Yeah, basically. You've got it. You've got it. Nailed it in one. I mean, it's not just used for that, but that is its main purpose. I do want to get back into doing some normal trucking on that. But that will likely be probably on the, do you know what, we'll probably do that in December on the on the way up to Christmas. We'll do the Christmas event and do some Winter Wonderland deliveries. Yeah, it just depends what gets into events, because I am going to keep submitting that race to every event until it's accepted. You versus Bright Winter. Do you know what? That's a person I've not actually reached out to do any collabs with on that game. But you know, we can. That would be cool. There's quite a few people that do ETS2 stuff, so getting a big convoy of us all together, that, you know, the players doing Euro Truck, that'd be cool. I say big convoy, we can have 8 players, unless you're on a dedicated server, which I'm not paying for. I hope that's not a gate. No, it's not, it's a bridge. Good. That's the only other problem with low graphics settings, is that sometimes things in the distance don't render correctly. But no, I'm always up for bad/questionable ideas. Winter Wonderland is online and speed restricted to. Yes, you can only get into it with the oh god, what are they called? The World of Trucks jobs. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, the World of Trucks jobs, that's the one. I just can't remember what the market's called because it's given a different name. I think it's the online market or something daft like that. But no, absolutely down for anything remotely daft like that. Because I'm not going to lie, I have even considered opening up the submission for UKSG to, like, if you have a portable computer with you and an access to a copy of Euro Truck Simulator 2, here is the name of the lobby, here is the password, join it. Here is your route configuration, here is your requirements, go. But that would just be chaos at that point. And speaking of truck games, I have also considered... Yeah. I mean, you said it at that point. If I was doing a big convoy like that, it wouldn't necessarily be a race. It would just be let's all chill out. Let's talk, nonsense and have a good time doing it. Gosh, there's a lot of bale wrapping. How many grass fields are? I mean, most of the map is grass, and I love grass work. There's a lot of fertilizing contracts as well. 10 grand. Owing. I am never not going to laugh like a school child at that job type. But yeah, exactly. So now generally when I'm doing contracts, I would borrow equipment on field 30 and then use it on field 19 because it's a bigger setup, which means it will do it quicker. But because they are not the same person, I am not going to... Let's go do some grass work. I love grass work in this game. Come on. Just barge the... No, so I am doing this as, the hired farmhand. Well, not even I think hired farmhand. The outside help type thing. I mean, to be fair, at this point, I reckon... You know what? Let's have a... While we're having a think about that, let's have a look at what's in... Do we have a... Ain't affording that yet. Yeah. Yeah, brought to even... I might... To be fair, there is a good chance I don't actually get to own any land, and I just start buying vehicles to... 49 grand... Get out. Oh, okay, 50 grand. Okay, we've got a lot. Yeah, it does just have car. Also, do you want to know the funniest thing? There are motorcycles in it now as well. Yeah, Farming Sim 25 added motorcycles and three-wheelers. But yeah, as you can see, I've got a hell of a lot of... Yeah, I've got a hell of a lot of mods installed on my game because I have been playing this since day one. They paid for that. They did. They did indeed pay for that. Field 30. So 33 is there. Field 30 then, by definition, should be... this way. It is this way. I was right. Yay! I did deductions. Admittedly, they did lose quite a bit. So when... I think FS19 was the game with the largest number of brands, like recognizable brands in it. And then 22 had slightly less. And then 25 because they moved to self-publishing. a lot of the contract deals were tied up with Saber Interactive, so they had to renegotiate a lot of them. So we are arriving at field 30. It is immediately on our left here. This is a big field. Okay. This is big. So let's get the steering assist turned on. Am I in the field yet? Oh, yeah, there it is. So we need to unfold both of these mowers. No, let's put swathing mode. Hi, darling. Welcome back. No, that's the wrong mowers to drop first, but sure. Yeah, I've just left grass all over the road. Yes, I know. It's fine. When I finish the contract, I'll clean that up. That'll clean itself up, thankfully. No, because that would require calling under a desk that you can't get under because I'm in the way. It's fine, I'll fix it for tomorrow. It's all good. Because one, there is a steering wheel in the way. Two, it requires you to get behind the computer. I am in the way, and no, you can't. Lift. And lift. Oh, no, forwards, please. Cool. There we go. And then we'll flick to the front thing. Lift. And lift. Drop back. There we go. This is going to take a little while. But yes, I do have sat on my shoulder a cute little cuddly tractor that I picked up from the York Maze yesterday. It's unfortunate that you can't see it, but, you know, such is life sometimes with tech. Occasionally it have issues. Just straight out into the... Okay. But yeah. Come on. There we go. Lovely. But yes, we are slowly building up our funds. So my first purchase is more than likely going to be a small tractor and a lawnmower. It's not working at the moment, darling. Spotify has decided that I'm not allowed. So, while we are... Yeah, I know. Everything's broken today. My camera decided it was going to give up. Give up the minute I pressed go live. Spotify decided that it was going to give up the minute people started requesting songs. The only thing that hasn't broken yet. So... That's... Thanks, Automod. That's not even questionable. I know. God, I love Automod sometimes. He's mowing, but someday he shall be hoeing. Gotta know when to hoe him and when to mow him. Yep. Off we go. We are on full volume, but the game is the Steam Deck is turned right down because I was playing Power Ranger last week in the speedruns and it was stupidly loud for no reason. But no, thank you everybody for being here today for the first day. I appreciate this game isn't the most interesting at the best of times, but thank you so much for sticking around. So yes, we are mowing. It's impressively mundane as a title, yes, but so is ETS. So in the entire 10 years that 13 years that ETS has existed, I have had 4 save files. None of them I have ever got any sort of 100% completion in. It was just that I got fed up with, or I hadn't played it for so long and I just decided I wanted the restart. I was going to say to try something different, but there isn't really anything different to do in Euro Truck Simulator. You drive truck, you deliver cargo, you rinse and repeat. That's it. at least with, you know, farming sim, there's some variety in that, you know, you can do crops, you can do grass work, you can do animal rearing. Yeah, you can. Tuscany has the V8s. It does. It also has the biggest engine in the franchise now at 780 horsepower as well. Official engine in the franchise, sorry. So yeah, but yeah, that's the biggest engine in the franchise now, the 780 horsepower. It was Volvo that had it previously, but yeah, no, it's been beaten. And the only reason I know that is because that's the engine I use in my races. But no, in terms of Euro Truck Simulator 2, I have considered learning the all capital cities run, which is a base game only run. Unfortunately, I don't think the times that people got in the original game are possible anymore, because the map has been updated extensively since then. But no, genuinely, I'm looking forward to seeing what SCS come out with for that when it comes to the rework of the UK, because that zone is unfortunately 13 years old and looks it. And feels it too. And then we're getting an island DLC, an Iceland DLC, which is nice that we're getting some of the very cheap Scania. Drive it carefully for a while and then absolutely send it into a random. Yes. Yeah. 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 I like that. I mean, the best things in... But yeah, normally when I'm playing farming sim, New Holland are the tractors that I go for. I just like the blue colour. Even though my favourite colour is red. Funny bubble. Look at, yeah. This is the New Holland T800. Oh yeah, 8050. The numbers do mean something. I just have no idea what it is. Looks like farming equipment, a bit of a heavy review, but yep. So that's partly because I've deliberately set the rear mowers. They have a collector function on them that throws all of the grass into the middle. Otherwise, they would be doing this. Henry is red. Yeah, Henry's red. Oh, they're saying that you can get green Henrys too. I can't remember. Yes, pink is Hetty. But yeah, I'm gonna put wrong button. I'm gonna put the swathing back on. I accidentally hit the button to disable my GPS steering. Ours is, see, The missus has got the Henry Hoover lineup. So yeah, we're nearly at the end of this. Go. But yes, the Henry Hoover line. The Henry vacuum cleaner line. Dang, it's that whole thing of, you know, Brandon thing. They're also Blue Georges. I saw them on Google. Yeah, they are trolling you with inconsistent colours. You can get, I think you can get Henry in green as well. Just to add to the confusion. And George, I can't remember if it's George or oh yeah, James is yellow, which is just wrong. James should be red. Sorry, almost the tank engine coming out there. Henry comes in blue and green. No, Henry should just be green. Not trains. I like trains.
I like trains.
Thank you, dear. I knew someone would play it I knew somebody would do that sound if I said I like trains. But yeah, this'll give us a nice boost towards getting that first tractor, because we need about 50 grand. Dear God, Percivac would be awful. Yeah, probably. I mean, it'd be good for delivering mail, though. Reverse. And spin. Oh, the digger. Yeah. Our oldest loved Thomas, but could not say the indignity. It was, oh, the diggity. So yeah, like I say, I'm not planning on hiring workers until I have at least 2 machines of my own. Clean your floor, leave the vac unsupervised while the vac goes exploring and gets itself stuck in a hedge. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised the Henry hasn't found itself boarded up in a tunnel for giving, you know, boarded up in the well house. Yeah. That's Henry. Hides in a tunnel and doesn't want to come out because the weather's not great and it doesn't want to ruin its paint. I mean, it helps that we're all of a similar vintage. Yeah, our oldest was obsessed with Thomas. To the point that our second child is named after a tank engine. Mm-hmm. Yep. Like, almost the entire collection of Thomas the Tank Engine Brio trains. Wait, does that mean we have to have a crew of handheld vacuums presided over by the thin Dyson? You're not allowed to say the fat controller. No, you're not. He goes by his proper name. Yep. Two hours, dear, not three. There we go. Which also, by definition, means that his opposite number on the light railway can't be called the thin controller anymore. Sorry, on the narrow gauge railway. Refuse to respect the gentry. He does have a proper name, and it is spoken in the TV show. I just can't remember it. Tots TV, yeah. I'm a touch of squeeze and tot, tilly tom and tiny. Where the tots on Tots TV? 1, 2, 3. Yep. I remember that one. That one didn't make it here fair. The magic bag. Sac magique. Ironically learning French before we even realised we were learning French. As far as I'm concerned, the Teletubbies can go and die in a fire. Oh, that's cool. I remember the magazines. I just was never able to get them, so I don't remember. Oh, the Teletubbies were famous the world over. But as far as I'm concerned, they can go and die in a fire. They are one of the most horrific things to ever grace children's TV. Genuinely the stuff of nightmares. I mean, fine. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I can't remember if it was one of the voices, or whether it was the suit actor. But I'm trying to think what other things she's been in. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was the speaking voice for Mulan. I can't remember her name, but I'm sure it was her. She was in Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Why can't I can picture her face, I just don't know her name. Wanted one of the Teletubbies in the letter L. Yeah, it was Poe. It was Poe. I just can't remember the woman's name. In fact, I don't even know the woman's name, but I can tell you what she's been in. I think it was Poe. I don't know, maybe. It was one of them. She was definitely one of them. So, I can tell you how we got from vacuums to trains. That's quite easily, but Teletubbies, no idea. We got to trains from vacuums because half of the Henry Hoover line, or the Henry vacuum cleaner line, I keep calling them Hoovers. Damn you, Henry Hoover. Because half of the Henry line of vacuum cleaners is named after Thomas the Tank Engine characters. It is. It is. Look up that name, because that rings a bell. Or am I getting it confused? Maybe I'm getting myself confused because Ming Na Wen would never have been in... Yeah, I'm getting it confused. Yeah, Ming Na Wen's from America. There was no way she would have been on a British TV show. Wow, I just accidentally committed an act of racism. Yeah, exactly. That's why I said, God-forsaken son baby. And creatures with television sets in the middle of their bellies. Yeah, absolutely nightmare fuel. That would spy on random children as well. Yeah, no, of course she wasn't. That was... Of course Ming Na Wen wasn't in any of it. It was the word L. Oh, okay. Yeah, but Pui Fan... Butchering the name, Pui Fan Lee's been in a lot as well. Mostly kids' TV stuff. Boop. And then reverse. Cool. We are almost done with this. Almost done with this. Oh look, there are boars in this field. Oh, sugar. W arteries hate anti-diesel racism. Yeah. Yeah, even at the time he was writing the books, it was already a well-known fact that diesel was far more efficient than steam as a method of transporting stuff on railways. I must admit, as the books progressed and we started getting characters like Daisy and Boko, it seemed to reduce a lot. But yeah, Diesel and Diesel 10 were very much Ah, cool. Contract finished. We don't actually need to do any more. We can cheat. Because you don't actually have to do 100%, you know, the entire thing. You can leave a little bit and it will accept it. So, what do we want to do, guys? We've done a harvesting contract, we've done a fertilizing contract, we've done a, you know what? Let's do just for Seb. Just for Seb, let's do, I know it's not a lot of money, but let's do the hoeing contract. Oh, nice, we get the JCB. I do like the JCBs. They are quick. So we wanted a rapid tractor. The fast track is definitely a rapid tractor. So we're going to field 44 and I need my map on to find this one. So we will follow the increasing numbers. I'm going to cut across this grass field. Yeah, this thing moves. Yeah, JCBs are well known for their ability to shift. Yeah, 40 miles an hour. The speed limit is in kilometers an hour, but it's 60 on this road. Because I'm on a European map. I'm not on an English map. A lot of the English maps are quite boring. And they don't have much in the way of variety. I mean, admittedly, I've picked a pretty boring map in this in the form of this one as well, because it's just mostly meadows and rolling fields. Oh, am I actually hitting the speed limit? Wow, okay. Okay. Oh, here we have arrived. These cars are going to get annoying, that's for sure. Because I'm going to end up hitting that car. Yeah. So oh, it's a weeder. Yeah, this tool is... Thought I was going to hit the car, but I didn't. Okay. For God's sake. God damn it. I need to go into my auto mod settings and add that as an allowed phrase for specifically for this. It really doesn't like hose. No. Let's put all-wheel steering on and then we get some tighter angles around these corners. I know. Terrible. You make people feel good and they pay you for this? You would a hoe. Ah, forwards, please. Thank you. This tool is restricted for contract work. Yes, I know. Yeah, this should be a nice, reasonably quick job. Oh, for God. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. What I need to do is I need to... like I say, I need to go into my auto mod settings and add hoe as an allowed word. So what I will do is I will just there you go. And that should have posted a reminder, because I've set up a specific channel for it. Yep. That has now posted a reminder in my Discord server. Yeah. See? That command is only accessible to me. So, you know, don't spam it, because you won't get anything out of it. Oh no, ads. Apologies. Oof. Just collide with that Citroen C1. Right. Turn off that. Why are we suddenly making a, like, 30-degree right turn there? Oh, yeah. Welcome back, guys. Like I say, for days where I'm streaming Farming Sim, the ad breaks, I'm going to turn off the ad break card in future. We will have the ads. I'll just keep playing unless I need to get up and stretch and move about, which I'm feeling quite comfortable at the moment, so that's not the case. Yeah, I will remember to turn off the ad card for future streams. The ad breaks will just happen. again, because you're not really missing anything, you're just, you know, probably missing me choosing a contract or driving up and down a field or, you know, something else similar. Or driving to a job or driving from a job, you know. You're not missing anything, you know, massively important. Spin round. We've just got one last little bit to do here, which I don't even know if I need to do. We'll do it just in case. And then we've got... Then we drive over this way until we see a line going up and down the field that isn't... Oh, they're going across the field. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Sometimes I question the algorithm that decides what routes people, you know, the GPS wants you to take across these fields. I mean, it gets the job done, which is the important thing. But yeah, this job is almost done now. I mean, the fact that we've made nearly 50 grand in just under, or just over two, well, there you go. We've made, so this will be 44 grand. The fact that we've done that in 3 hours is pretty good going. That's 40. 14. That's 10, but we will get a bonus. Where is that? 60, 86, and it's going to... Wow, okay. We will get a bonus out of that. Oh, I love the Macdon harvest. Love the Macdon. One of my favourite. Oh yeah, the transport and collecting. We're not going to bother with the wood transport because I can't use a crane. I suck at the crane. The crane sucks at me. So yeah, I am going to grab this contract for harvesting, which is admittedly way at the bottom of the map, so it's going to be interesting to get to with a harvester. Here's my harvester. I am going to push the head around like this first, just so that I don't have to deal with the trees. So yeah, we'll go and put it on. And I'm so glad that there is effectively a... I'm so glad that there's a sticky... Oh, it wanted me to put it on the other way. Okay. I'm so glad that there's a sticky script on the header trailers. Otherwise, I would absolutely never actually get that on there. But yeah, we're heading off to field 66, which is in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. This is going to be interesting, especially on the... Yeah, we're going to go pick up this harvesting contract just because A, it gives us 10 grand and there is a good chance we'll get a small amount of bonus out of it. But yeah, I think for the first time ever, I think we are going to try, at least at some point, have an all-green fleet. So I'm going to have John Deere's fence, and I mean, to be fair, I could just buy any other. But yeah, we'll... So let's have a... Yeah, I do need to turn down here. This is going to be awkward getting through here. Oh no. I was expecting to come across some stuff. Some traffic as we made our way through that little bit of town. And our target is just there, that field. So what I am going to do is I'm going to borrow the corner of this field here, or the edge of this grass field here in 64, because it makes sense that this grass doesn't do, because I don't damage grass by driving into it like you do with any other crop. So we'll grab this, we'll unfold the harvester, we'll get it spun around, we shall hold the button to activate our steering assist, get that set up, and we'll head over here. We're not gonna, again, we're not enabling straw swath because I don't have the equipment to collect it. And it feels a bit like cheating and stealing from, because that's not the contract. We might consider doing that later as part of the playthrough, because there is a tool available as part of the game. Well, as a mod for the game that lets you collect loose straw from contracts. So we'll probably grab that just so that we can make a little bit more money. But we will need... But it will increase the amount of time we spend on contracts. So we're almost at the end of this line. Cool. This is quite a. Oh, there's another field behind it. That's a 67's a big field. Wow. Okay. We're not talking like like there are maps in this game where it would literally take you like real world several hours real time to get through some of these fields. Particularly if you're playing on something like Great Plains Australia or some of the Midwestern American maps. Like they literally have fields that are thousands of acres. And again, if you didn't put multiple harvesters on there, you'd be spending, you know, upwards of 3-4 hours, like an entire play session just harvesting one field. Oh, we're coming up to the next turn point. Apologies for the lack of interesting noises. Spotify's woken back up yet. Hello, Spotify. Are you awake? I don't know. But yeah, let's get rid of all that. Yeah. It's just I personally when I'm playing Farm Sim casually, I like to have music on in the background because there's no other noise for the game. I mean, there is an in-game radio, but it doesn't work particularly well. Oh, nice. Nice. That's a game series I've never actually been able to get my head around. Like, I understand why people play it and, you know, props to them, but I have enough anger issues as it is. I do not need to be playing that sort of what I want to call game that is difficult for the sake of being difficult game. Like, it took me... I need to go back through my Twitch stats, but I'm pretty sure I managed to get myself... Like, I actually have people that will come and hunt me down if I start trying to play Crash Bandicoot again. One of them is downstairs. That's where 90% of that death count came from. The 1,400 deaths came from. Because I decided, I know, let's try an 100x% Crash Bandicoot 1. Thankfully, I was allowed to finish Crash Bandicoot 2, but then the Crash Bandicoot series has been permanently banned from my channel. On account of, I was raging at it. Like, even more than I rage at speedruns. Yep. Yeah, it's the only game that is like genuinely banned. I am genuinely banned from playing. And again, it's only because it was getting to the point where I was actually considering throwing things. And it was obvious on stream that I was horribly irate and frustrated. You know, all things for the better, I think, at the end of the day. But I have very much learnt from that experience. So, a couple of weeks ago, I was playing Banjo-Kazooie, and again, I got to Click Clock Woods, the last level, and I was just making no progress in the level. I was just failing the tree climb repeatedly. So, you know, moved on to the Furnace Fun, you know, quote marks, Furnace Fun quiz, and could not make progress in that either, so... So yeah, no, I've definitely learned from the experience of raging horror, you know, constantly at a game. It wasn't that I was genuinely mad. You could just, like, literally, because I had the camera on at the time, it was working that day. No, all jokes aside, yeah, the camera's usually fine. No, it got to the point where, like, you could physically, like, I wasn't talking, I was just I think it was, it was either the Great Gate or the other gate level in Crash 1, and I was just getting more and more irate at the fact that I could not get anywhere in that level. This was trying to get the relic, by the way. I'd already beat the level and got the crystal out of it for getting all the boxes. This was trying to get the relics. So yeah. So yeah, just learn that if I'm starting to get frustrated at a game, it's better to walk away than to sort of persevere and push myself through it. I mean, even with speedrunning, if I'm finding myself getting frustrated at a speedrun, I'll walk away from it and I'll try it again another day. That's how... I'm trying to think of a speedrun where I've done that recently. I don't... That's certainly how I was in the early days of Power Rangers. The last one where I'd done that. Where I'd failed to get a... Oh, it was ETS2, because I kept, you know, being a massive skill issue farmer and crashing and hitting cars and, you know, failing to be able to control my vehicle. That was the other one that was more recent as well. Like, I just got really frustrated that I could not get a clean... As in, a run to go from start to finish. So yeah, that one... Oh, we still don't have music. Damn it, Spotify, why are you broke? But yeah, apologies for the trauma dump there. But no, this is the kind of game that I love to play casually. So, farm sim, truck sim, roadcraft, you know, all sorts. Oops, sugar. There's me not paying attention to where my harvester's going. Whoops. Excuse me, go. Please activate cruise control and just go. Whoops. Oh. Come. Big stretch and a move. But yeah, thank you guys for being here for day one. Like I say, this will carry on. We'll carry on with this on Wednesday. After a bit of cooperative Pal World tomorrow. In which my first task is to go and get to start Pal Sphere production and go and get my Daydream army. Yeah, I've been enjoying it since one point. I played it day 1 and 2 after release because it released on the day I started streaming in 2023. But yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying Pal World again. I've been playing it solo. I'm at level 19 on a solo world, but yeah, I'm gonna start co-op with AMT on Tuesdays. That's gonna go for at least 4 weeks. Oh, missed a bit. Can't be doing that on a contract, that's for sure. But yeah, we're going to be picking that up as part of, you know, Arable August. It's farming, but not quite working the land. But yeah. Yeah, speedrunning will be back in September. I plan on revisiting and derusting Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, which is the most recent Power Rangers game to be released. Because all of my times in that game are over an hour. And I've got a sneaking suspicion that if I spend a decent chunk of time, much like I did when I first started speedrunning in February of 2024? Yeah, because Rita's Rewind came out at the end of 23. So yeah, 24, because I got that into Blue 20... yeah, No, February of 25 I started speedrunning. Yeah, February 25 I started speedrunning with Rita's Rewind, because that came out in the December of in the October, November time in 24. So yeah. And then ran that at UKSG Blue. And as it stands, I think I've worked out that I have a top 12, a top 5 time in 12 categories across 5 games. Now, admittedly, some of those are, for want of a better word, default top 5s, because there aren't actually 5 runners of the game, or 5 runners in that category. But yeah, it's, you know, my speedrun journey's been interesting. I'm not as sort of devout and, as deep into the weeds as someone like Argic or Hurts, who speedruns like 90% of their streams. I usually do 1 or 2 speedrun streams a week, maybe 3, depending on what the plan is in terms of whether I'm looking to submit something to an event or not. Yeah, exactly. This is true. As long as you're having fun with it, right? Yeah, that is all that matters. And like I always say, you know, my streams are the content and the content, the games that I want to play. I mean, my whole reason for streaming was because I spent, and my wife will, attest to this, that I spend most evenings sat in front of a computer anyway. So, why not put a little bit of work into it and earn a little bit of money along the way? And while it isn't exactly, in fact, I wouldn't even say it's remotely, in terms of the amount of, amount that I've earned from streaming in the 2.5 years I've been doing it. 23, 24, 25, 26. Oh god, I'm into year 4. I started in January 23. Jesus Christ. I've been streaming for over 3 years. Yeah, it's one of those things where I've put more into the streaming than I've got out of it, but again, this is not my main job. I am a full-time software engineer. This is a hobby. It was never intended to be anything more than that. But yeah, for me, it's about picking up skills that I wouldn't normally have. I'm not really a public speaker. I struggle with audiences. I've never really done anything solo. Well, as a much younger person, I did do solo performances for, school shows and things, but it was there were always other people there with me. I've never been one for doing anything on my own, so this is me trying to build some confidence in myself to do stuff on my own. Even if it's, streaming to a handful of people on the internet 4 times a week, but 2 to 3 hours at a time. But yeah. And again, it's the same with doing UKSG and hosting at that event. It's all about building my confidence in the ability to speak and be understood. And, you know, getting points across and raising money for a good cause, because that's what UKSG and most speedrunning marathons are all about. But I can say with certainty that, you know, I am more confident at speaking, and I can say I've gained some skills because, you know, my stream is entirely self-set up, apart from the artwork that you can see. So the tiger image that is my channel icon as well, that was created by Fallen. The avatar that you can see on the starting soon screen, if I jump back to it, that was drawn by my oldest daughter. But everything else is mostly self put together, like the layouts, all of that is all hand done. All the animations of, you know, the camera hiding and showing are all, admittedly, pulling bits and pieces from everywhere, like plugins for OBS, but, you know, it's all hand cranked. I've not paid for somebody to design my layouts. And, you know, that's not for a lack of people, you know, coming in and going, oh, do you want to buy my artwork? No, I don't. I'd rather pay people that I know. Yeah, she's pinched my tablet again. Oh no, my tablet's here. She hasn't pinched the tablet again. But I did have a thought for something that I wanted her to do, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, she's really big into it at the moment. No, not yet. I did have an idea that I wanted her to do, but it's since left my brain and it's gone. But no, genuinely, I could not be happy with. And she's done me some emote stuff as well that I need to add in. I am... Sophie, dear, love of my life. How is that any different to any other day of the week? I can start making a cup of tea. Go visit the bathroom. Forget that I was making a cup of tea. Go sit back down at work, and then remember 2 hours later that I was making a cup of tea. Go into the kitchen and find it stone cold on the side, unfinished, and then have to start again from scratch. Or half an hour later, or, you know, enter an amount of time here. I am horrendous for that. Yeah, the 2 hours later when I decide that I want a cup of tea again. And I go in the kitchen and realise the mug's already in there with a tea bag in it. Stone cold. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, God. I need to... Cool, let's go deliver this. Where are we delivering this to? Let's... saving. Quick save. So we're going all the way up to the north end of the map. Wow, okay. We are literally driving the length of the map. Nice. Almost. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then have another one is having all of the best intentions of having lunch and then finishing a meeting at 12:30, then to have somebody else immediately call me asking me questions. Or have that meeting overrun till 1 o'clock, 1:30, and then me go, well, there's no point me eating now because by the time I've actually sorted out my lunch and eaten it, it'll be 2:30. At which point there's not really any point. I know. It's my fault in that I choose not to eat at that point, but that's mostly because I know if I eat at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, there is no way I'm going to be eating my tea between 5 and 6. Like, no way on... No way on this lovely green earth. Sorry, green and blue earth that I will be eating, you know, 3 hours later, 2 hours later. But yeah, we'll go deliver this wheat. And then it'll be time to have a look for a tractor and a mower. And then what we need to do then is start looking at the prices of some of these grass fields. Especially the smaller ones. Hey, Ari. How are you doing this evening? There would be music on in the background, but unfortunately Spotify decided that it was going to to put it a better way, poop the bed and not work. But how are you this afternoon, Ari? Everything's broken. The camera broke. Spotify broke. I am not. I am playing on Ratzinger. The problem I have with British maps is they tend not to have a lot of production or production-based space on production chain stuff on them, and usually it's really difficult to place those buildings on there. So we are in Ratzinger, which does have a bunch of productions on there, which I would like to get to at some point, but, you know, I'm giving myself a month at this challenge, and if I think I'm doing... We'll decide whether we continue this into September, but if it continues, the frequency of streams of this will be significantly cut down. It will probably drop to 1 a week at best. Oh, it's there. Oh, that's a pain to get to. Oh, okay. Never mind, we can just empty it into the... Power! Cool, contract finished. We got an extra 800 off that. I mean, I do have the world's fastest tractor installed. So if I come out of there, go into here... that's mods. Is it down here with the mods? No, it's not. It might not even be in large tractors. It's not. Where is it? Is it in... I know where to look for it, to be honest. Not packs. DLC. Oh, it's in extras, isn't it? That's all the mods. I'm sure I've got it installed somewhere. But I know where it is anyway. It's in... You watch, it'll not be enabled. Oh yeah, there you go. World's fastest tractor. Which... I mean, we did have this discussion on Thursday with AMT. It was decided that I was Captain Slow. AMT was Richard Hammond, because he's been involved in more actually dangerous accidents than any of the rest of us. I did try and argue that I was Clarkson because I was from Yorkshire, as is Clarkson. But, you know, that's not a good argument for being anything. So, do we have something interesting in the contracts list? We have another mowing contract for, like, 9 grand. Field 19. So, what I think I might do is I might break my one... So, hang on. Let's see. How much is it going to cost me for a small tractor? So, the smallest tractor is 39.5 grand. Or 60 grand for, you know, not narrow. So this is a vineyard tractor. Yeah, the methane one is hilarious. So it's meant to be a vineyard tractor again. So it's like maybe 3 foot wide at best. But yeah, I don't know whether to. So yeah, we can get this handbag looking idiot. Yeah, I know. So I think we'll plumb for this one at 60, but then I need to also get a... How much is a lawnmower? How much is the smallest lawnmower? This is where I come down here and realise that I've got access to hand tools. Because I installed a bunch of hand tools. I've gone past lawnmowers. Grassland, go on. Oh, 13.5 grand. Okay. So we need 75 grand, and then we can start running out mowing contracts left, right, and centre. And it's all profit at that point. So yeah, we need another 15. So so this is how I would rule mowing contracts. What I could do is I could pick up this contract, and because it's Noah and I'm borrowing his equipment, I could then use that equipment to do this contract, and this contract. So let's borrow on that one. And then we'll go back down to mowing, and then we'll grab that one. But I do love those. That one. Not far enough. And that one. Because it's all the same farmer, I could use the same idiot. Yeah. But what I was trying to do, Seb, and, you know, genuinely, if I was playing this on solo and not on stream, I would be doing that for every contract. But what I'm doing is I'm separating it by owner. So if I'm doing one job for Noah, I can do all of his jobs with the same equipment, regardless of... Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what I am going to do is I'm going to break my one of my stipulations for this playthrough, and that is I'm going to put a worker on to do this bit while I go to the toilet. So I will be back in a couple of minutes. You can borrow, not nick it. Yeah, you can. It lets you borrow materials from one job and then use them across all of the jobs of the same type. Which is why I'm only doing it because all of these contracts, so if I, while he's doing that, they're all for the same person. That's the only reason I'm deeming it's acceptable. But yeah, I will be back in a couple of minutes. I will let the bot go and mow this field while I go and deal with human nature. I'll be back in a few minutes. See you soon. I might even run some ads actually while I'm going, because otherwise they're going to run before I finish or as I'm about to finish. So look after yourselves, guys. I'll see you in a few. And in typical AI fashion, he has immediately driven into a tree. Great. Thanks, game. I had a feeling it was going to happen with the tree in the middle of the field plus the... So what we'll do is, while I'm here, I'm going to jump it into this mode. Yeah, it doesn't even... The tree doesn't even exist as far as the worker's concerned. There we go. Yeah, womp womp. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, welcome back to the ads, guys. That'll be the last lot of ads we run tonight, because we now have an hour and 6 minutes, and I'm not going to go for that long. I will probably finish not long after 10 o'clock, so we will probably get... In fact, I'll get these contracts done. So yeah, I'm going to deliberately collide with this tree now. So we'll... No, this is just me being awkward and... Mm-hmm. No, the only person that's going to suffer me playing late is me. And honestly, tomorrow's going to be a bit of a... No, never. You will not get me doing a 24-hour stream. The longest single stream you'll get out of me is maybe 6. I would love to. I wouldn't know who to call because my boss is on holiday for a week. So if you do know, I get 6 months off full pay, right? I know. But yeah, if I don't need to take the time off, I won't. But yeah, no. There is going to be a longer Wednesday day stream coming up in a couple of weeks because it is my affiliate anniversary. That will be happening on Wednesday the 12th, so I'm thinking a bumper. Admittedly, I was tempted to do a really stupid idea and run a Sandopolis Act 1 100 lap speed run. But I've kind of sort of decided, yeah, no. And actually what will probably happen is this. Do not do a Sando Hunter. I mean, I've already done one, but it's not technically not my first. However, it would be my first done to speedrun rules. So 19 was the one I actually picked up. What field am I looking for? 82. I wonder, is there... Probably not. I bet that's just a driveway. Is there a route down here to field 82? One is enough you need in your life. Yeah, so if I was going to do a Sando Hundo, the only difference from the one I did for my birthday stream would be that I would actually do it non-stop. Because the one I did for my birthday, I took breaks every hour. But yeah, no, I am fully intending on taking part in the Club 601 end of year Sando Hundo, so I might just leave it for that. There is no road out of here, is there? This is just... Yeah, I had a feeling this would be the case. Damn it. It means I've got to drive all the way around the map to get to where I need to be. Do you know what? We're going to be really naughty. I mean, this one does 32, which is about average for most tractors. Where am I now? I am going completely the wrong way. And actually, I want to go this way. Are these things speed limited? In real life, I've got no idea. They aren't tachographed because they're not commercial vehicles. But yeah. They're not tachographed because they're not commercial vehicles, so they don't need to be. Did I accept that? I did. Good. Some line. We got some lines. Yeah, unfold it, lower it, activate it. Come on. So I imagine they are speed limited. But only by nature of the fact that their gearboxes are definitely not made for speed. They're made for torque. But yeah, I imagine most tractors are speed limited. Again, yeah, because they're not designed for... And again, I think, like, now I'm limited to, like, 13, 14. I think that's the game enforcing a limit. As in, this is the ideal speed for this particular implement to work. I think in the real world, you could just floor it. But potentially you wouldn't be able to do the job as well. But yeah, I think, like, in terms of this game, while it tries to be a simulation, it's very much not a vehicle simulation, because yeah, some of the speeds you can do in this game with some of the vehicles, and the fact that they just don't immediately roll over, you know, is almost like unreasonable how glued to the road some of these vehicles are. I don't think this map has a train, because that would give rise to one of the funniest things I see regularly in Farm Simulator, and that's being hit by a train and sent absolutely flying. Especially if you can get the train to run through your tractor or truck or whatever you've used while it's stuck at a crossing. a level crossing. Yeah. Cool. Yes, much like the trains in GTA 5, the trains in this game are indestructible and unstoppable. Any train that trains in nearly any game that has a train. Yes, 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 yes. But yeah, genuinely, like, this is one of my favorite game series of all time, and yes, you know, feel free to call me whatever you want for liking a game about, you know, farming. Like, my favorite map is one from Farm Sim 17 and 19, and it's called Sandy Bay. It is a British seaside map. And there we go. And now we'll go to field 64, which is over the opposite corner from where we are now. Well, not corner, but yeah, you know what I mean. Because we were almost on the right-hand edge of the map. Now we're going to the bottom... Sorry, left-hand edge of the map. Now we're going to the bottom right again. I believe, he says. Double checking. Yeah, so we're going just the opposite side of the road of where we did that wheat harvest like 10 minutes ago. So let's stick the cruise control on and get a wiggle on. Nice from a car, park any of your vehicles in front of the trench, watch it get sent to heaven. Yeah, it's the same in this. You park your car in front of the train, it gets sent. It just gets... Doesn't necessarily get sent to heaven, but it gets absolutely launched. And it only gets worse if it's... if the train wedges it against the... like a lamppost or something. Because effectively what happens is the train is pushing it. And it's just constantly building up speed, and then eventually it builds up that much speed that it phases through the lamppost or the, you know, whatever post it's being held against, and just absolutely gets sent. Yes. The railgun. Yep. I have almost officially left the map there. So that marker is to stop you from driving off the edge of the map. I mean, it will just hit a brick wall and stop dead. But yes, I'm surprised that stuck actually, Orchid. When I called the hyper jump the railgun, I'm surprised that stuck. Oh yeah, I called it the ray gun first, and then realized actually, you know, rail gun might be more appropriate. I have a feeling I'm going to be pinching Zeeb's nickname very soon. There we go. Oh, it didn't. But yeah, it feels appropriate that it should be called that in a game where, you know, it's called Hyperlight Drifter. Because it feels like all sciencey and shit. And, you know, railguns are hilarious. But yeah. I'm not usually that quick with stuff like that. But yeah, like genuinely. But it feels a bit weird, you know, having a something that I am known for in a game I've never actually touched. But yes. But yeah, we've got maybe another 10 or so, maybe 15 minutes, depending on how long it takes me to do field 19, because that's a big field. But yeah, like I said, my plans for speed running towards the end of this year is learning Hurricane, continuing my slow climb up the leaderboard with Gow Ranger, and revisiting Rita's Rewind that I have not touched in 12 months. Oh, well, 12 months as of October. So by the time I actually get back to it, it will be 12 months. Because I definitely feel like some of the other games that I've played that are sort of that sort of style have certainly improved how I can execute that game. And like I say, there's also the possibility of the He-Man Masters of the Universe game making an appearance before the end of the year as well. It's currently touted for a summer release, but you know, this is limited run games that are publishing it. It could never happen, even though it's a digital only game. Which is another game that will definitely go on my speedrun backlog. Because, you know, 2D brawler featuring... Yeah. But it's from the same devs that did Terminator 2D, No Fate. So I'm confident the game will happen. And like I say, it's not getting a physical release, so it's not necessarily gonna have all of the, you know, issues, problems, and delays that, you know, the physical LRG stuff has. I mean, it's already been delayed once. It was supposed to come out in May. Game may well exist. Hopefully, being digital means you actually go. Yeah, exactly. But it was revealed like October. I want to say some point last year. I can't remember when. Like October last year. Look, it's time for a save. So, I am in this mini town here. I want to come out past the main cow farm. I'm on the wrong side of the road. Oh, apparently it's raining. Thankfully I'm not harvesting, otherwise that would cause us a problem. So the base game farming simulator doesn't support moisture levels and stuff, but you know, there are many clever people in this world that have implemented mods for the game that do track moisture like that. So in the base game, all that happens is you just get a flat yield penalty if you harvest in the rain. I've gone the wrong way, so we're just gonna sneak across this bit of not crop and then drive into that crop by accident. Cool, field 19, we have arrived. Activate that, lower that. Unfold the mower, put it down, do that. Yeah. Like I say, I'm hoping it does get released and it isn't like a ridiculously late release for this year. Because, you know, it's one of those games that I really do want to play, and I want to learn. I want to try and speedrun it as well, because it fits well within my regular wheelhouse of speedruns. And it's He-Man. And while I am not necessarily an 80s baby, I've absolutely loved most of the iterations of He-Man that have existed. Up to and including the latest Masters of the Universe film, which I highly recommend. If you've got access to Amazon Prime, it's on there now. Go and give it a watch. So yeah, this field has a strange little, what we in Britain would call a dogleg. It actually does. If I actually zoomed in on the map, it would actually look like a. It does actually look like this is the top of the thigh. Yeah, I was lucky enough to see that in the cinema on release day. And both me and Sophie were mildly surprised, because I went in there with very minimal expectations. And came out with a big smile on my face. I'm not going to lie. Like, genuinely, I was smiling from ear to ear leaving the cinema that day. Yeah, we're not too... I'm not too worried about mowing the entire field on a contract because, one, it's not my field. I'm not going to have to collect all this grass up anyway. You know, if this were a normal harvesting contract, I would absolutely be... maxing out the harvested area. But no, I fully recommend the Master of the Universe film. It's well worth the time, in my opinion. Honestly, I was surprised to learn that that Jared Leto is the voice of Skeletor. I think he's also the body as well, but yeah. I was surprised when I found that out. I mean, I don't necessarily watch many films, but it's definitely a film of 2026 for me. Others will probably disagree, and you know what? More power to those people, because, you know, why is there no more? Oh, okay. So, you know, the GPS has decided that this bit doesn't deserve to be fully mowed. Interesting. Excuse me. Sorry, attacking my microphone. I'm glad I came up here and did this bit, because otherwise it would have been left. Soft spot for the old Dolph Lundgren film. Yeah, that makes sense. But if you're a fan of those films, you'll appreciate at least one scene in this film then. But yeah, I apologize if you would class that as a spoiler, Chrono, but there is definitely a scene you will appreciate. In the original, little, well, it's not Beastman, because Beastman was a major villain. It's not Cyclops or Cyclops or whatever his name is, because he was in Trapjaw? Or Metaljaw? Trapjaw. But again, I thought he was a regular, regularly reoccurring villain. Oh, Triclop. Okay. Ah. Yeah, I always thought he was in quite a regular... I mean... Yeah, I always thought he was a regular appearance. But no, as a kid, my favourite character, other than the obvious titular character of He-Man, was Ram Man. Because the toy was hilarious to play. The toy was hilarious. Ah. In the original car, he was there but didn't... Yeah, fair. It was. Yeah. A spring-loaded man. Literally a missile of a man. One set of toys I wish I could have had as a kid was the Mask toys. So I was a huge fan of Transformers as a kid. Like I would sit and watch, Generation 1, Beast Wars, Armada, Robots in the original Robots in Disguise with Fire Truck Optimus Prime. Was it Armada? What was the middle one? Transformers Armada, Transformers something, and then Transformers Cybertron. I didn't watch Cybertron. But I remember the middle series because it had the Power Link theme where nearly every Transformer could pair up with another one, and one of them would become the top half and the other one would become the legs. But yeah. I remember what that middle series was called. Transformers Armada was where the mini-cons happened. Yes. OG Transformers. So I still haven't found the ones the Transformers. We only had actually between me and my two brothers, we only had like 3 Transformers apiece, and I know they were Generation 2. But can I find any reference to them ever existing as actual Transformers? They certainly weren't in the show, I don't think. But I had we had airplanes. One was an F-15 Tomcat, the other was a F-117A Nighthawk, the stealth bomber. And it had a missile launcher for one of its hands. Oh, cool, the contract's finished. I am gonna be a nice person and at least do a little bit more. But yeah, Transformers were a big thing. And then I am of the age when Power Rangers started, so that was my favourite TV show from the age of about 5 to the age of about... It is 10:30. I am just finishing this contract. I am going to hand them in, and then I'm going to save it and review where we got to. Thank you, darling. So, where have we got to with G2 specific stuff? I wasn't a fan of Beast Wars. I enjoy, yeah, okay. I mean, that's fair enough. You know, not everybody's a fan of everything. So tonight we have done. In fact, actually, there's a stat screen somewhere. There it is. Stats. We have done. Contract. It's probably. It doesn't say, does it? We have worked 194 hectares of land. We have been playing for 3 hours 17 minutes. We haven't even played for 1 year yet. We've used 300 litres of fuel. We've driven for 25 miles. 29 miles, 29 and a half miles. We have spent roughly half of our entire playtime actually working. Yeah, my Tommy Shrine. If the camera was on, I would show you. But I literally have a shelf dedicated to Tommy Oliver and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But yes, no, I was a fan of Power Rangers from the age of about 5 to... Well, let's say that. I'm still a fan of Power Rangers. There's only one season of Power Rangers I've not actually sat down and watched properly, and that is RPM. And, you know, thanks to Saban and Hasbro removing them from Netflix, I probably will not have chance to see them. But we've done quite well. We've made 73 grand. I think it's time, before we do end tonight's stream, to buy... Oh, 60 grand. Dang it. Have I got enough for both? So if I buy that and buy the lawnmower, because we are still, while we can 13. Oh, that is literally just enough. So the only problem is we've now got to pay for maintenance and fuel on these. Uh-oh. But yes. We have earned £73,000, dollars. Insert your preferred currency here because it doesn't matter. It's just a number with a currency symbol attached to it. And then, so we have our tractor. We have a lawnmower, which means now we don't have to... Yeah, I also like the Japanese Power Rangers, Super Sentai, and Kamen Rider. Hence Final Wave, which is from Gokaiger, which was pirates. Yes, the Japanese weren't afraid to use pirates. But yes, we now own a singular tractor and a mower blade, which means lawn mowing contracts now become... I now no longer have to pay a fee. I will still borrow equipment for any other type of contracts that we do for the time being, but it's one step along the road, and I think potentially the next step is buying equipment such that we can harvest cut a field of grass and then pick it up and sell it. I think that's going to be our next purchase, which would be a... So the next target, excuse me, come down to grassland down here, is a windrower. And it would have to, again, it would have to be a small one because we've only got, so 30 horsepower, 35 horsepower. We've only got 100 horsepower. I don't even think we've got 100. So something like the Crone, or the SIP. I don't even think we've got enough horsepower to run that. But yeah, we need a windrower, and then we need a forage wagon, and again, it'll be the little one. So we need like another. We basically need another 40 grand. But that's a job for Wednesday. And hopefully by then I'll be able to get the camera working again, and you'll be able to see our good friend Jonathan Deere sat on my shoulder. And then we'll see how we go from there. But I think tonight, for the 3 hours that we've been doing, 3.5 hours that we've been doing, flipping it, this is a long stream for me. Is good going. I will be exporting this to YouTube once we're done. just so that I've got this recorded. Poor Jonathan didn't have his debut. No, he'll get his debut on Wednesday. In fact, I might even wear him on. I might even put him on my shoulder tomorrow because I'm playing Pal World, and he's going to be my pet. But yeah, I love this game. Just the low and slow portion of it is one of my favorites. So we own an orange tractor, which I know I wanted to go green, but we'll get the green ones later. It was just the cheapest tractor I could get that was a reasonable size. So yeah, Wednesday. So tomorrow, like I say, I will be back around 7:30 with Pal World. I would double check with AMT and how he feels about that. But I don't have a problem with that, Ari. And then Wednesday, farm sim. Thursday, break from the farming nature of things this month. This month for the next 5 weeks or so. With Roadcraft, but that's, regular programming. I hope to see you in another stream. Thank you so much, guys, everybody, for being here. Orchid, I appreciate the follow earlier today. Thursday's Roadcraft. It's always Roadcraft. When is it not Roadcraft? When we're trying to record submissions to UKSG. Thursday's Tonka Toy Thursday. I did posit that Tonka Toy Tuesday would make a better alliteration, but we're not messing about with everybody. Yes, thank you, Orchid, for the follow earlier today. I know you asked me to remind you because you've been meaning to follow for ages and you just keep forgetting. It's fine. I don't normally call out followers, but because you're here and you've been chatting, I'm sure you don't mind. Sophie, Ari, Seb, thank you so much for dropping in and being chatty. Thank you to all the lurkers that have been hiding. 3 guys, 1 gal. Yeah, exactly. But yes, thank you so much to all the lurkers and everybody else that's been here. I will catch you on the next one. I was going to go and send you off to go and raid Robble and Stamp, but they're finishing too. So it looks like, unfortunately, tonight we are just going to have a dead stop, and I will let you go and disperse and find whatever it is you want to do. Again, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Good night, everyone.